Oh man, sometimes that feels like the longest wait ever, and then other times it just absolutely
There's not enough time, man.
Yeah. But happy Tuesday, guys, man. Feeling good. Bunzy is back after traveling the world, man. How are you feeling, bro? I saw you in Vegas like 3 weeks ago, and I think this is the first time you've been home since.
Yeah, dude, it feels nice, but at the same time, I could have kept going. I'm probably lying to myself, but it kind of reminds me before getting into software, when I was doing music, it kind of felt like a little Bunzy tour, a little Bunzy worldwide tour.
How was that back-to-back set with Skrilla? Did you guys crush it?
Dude, Skrilla train wreck. I had to show no. It was amazing. It was super dope because when we first started, Qbert was just scratching and we are just going back on and just kind of like going back to back to back, just like laying down different cuts on his shit while we're like kind of sound checking everything. And yeah, that was a solid way to really start off all of the madness, in my opinion. And then Skrilla punched a hole in our Airbnb wall. I don't know why he did it. I told him not to. But yeah, dude, why'd you do that, dude?
Skrilla, it's good, bro. You might be on mute.
Because you got your girlfriend up there to scratch when we were warming up, and I was like, why do you have his girlfriend trying to scratch at the club right now, bro?
Yeah, dude, I was like,
punch a hole in the wall.
Always with the girlfriend wrecking things, man.
I'm just like, yo, let me give my girlfriend some practice real quick. Look,
Iggy,
jiggy.
It sounds exactly how it sounds. It was a pretty bad idea. But no, we had a blast, and I see Pepe Angelo down there. She was probably the hardest working artist I saw all trip. We were all kind of drinking, scratching, partying, and Pepe Angelo was just painting live. Every corner I turned around, she was there with her canvas, like with a coffee, just like painting a new portrait, doing something super cool. Speaking of holes in the wall, Arwen's finally going to come up and admit who put the hole in the wall, the mystery glory hole. But no, it was amazing. And I mean, going all the way back to Vegas, like when we connected, I got to meet Chris, who's up on stage here too. That was such a pleasant surprise. Jake's like, yeah, dude, you can stay at my buddy at Chris's house. We get there and it's like super sweet spot. Pool. Guy has like, he's getting a new car, got to drive in it. I don't know. Got a lot of stories, but I definitely want to just kick it off with Pepe's in Paris and how well that team put together this event with people from all over the world coming in, you know, NFT gallery. And then what was the name of the other gallery? Skrilla? Start with an A.
Avant Gallery.
Yeah.
Avant.
That's right. And just, I don't know, for me, it was definitely just being relatively newer to the Pepe community, just being able to meet everyone in person and just hear their stories and just, you know, see how long and hard a lot of these artists have been like getting after it. And then one of the like the specialer things was getting to meet Viva, because Viva, me and him just connected and he's been helping me do so much stuff. So being able to see him, he's a lot taller than I imagined. Which is weird. I thought it'd be a short little guy holding a record.
It's funny because he said you were a lot shorter than he imagined.
Well, see, that makes sense because that checks out. But no, one of the coolest things, we were making these cards, these hand-drawn cards, and his son made probably the best one that I've ever. He's like, I'm gonna send you to Jesus. That card went so hard. How did your son think about the whole thing? Because that's one of the more powerful things that I remember from the trip.
Yeah, man. Well, we both had a blast, but yeah, Oscar had an awesome time, and he went to his school because I had to take him in school time. So one of the deals was if I took him there, he'd have to go back into his class and explain what Pepe Fest was and what he's been up to for the last few days. So I sent the headmaster the link for Pepe Fest, and yeah, we spoke to him about it when we got back. It's a Catholic school, though, so that I'm going to send you to Jesus card. I had to park that one. So my wife was like, no, you can't. Why has that got to be what you drew? So I was like, it's amazing. But he's been hooked on it ever since. He's been drawing Pepe's. Joe did a really good workshop, had everyone taking part in it and minting on the rare Pepe wallet as well. So it got him hooked. But like Bunzy said, it was great meeting a lot of people. There's a ton of people I hadn't met before face to face, including Skrilla, which is crazy. So, you know, it was great getting everyone together.
Yeah, we did have we had Joe here last time with Skrilla, and he was explaining kind of this new dynamic that they created. I believe it's called Festers. Is what this experience was. And I think Adam, do you remember how much he said or how many cards were minted? It was like
I want to say he did like, was it 70 passes, guys? Something like that, where he gave away 70, which allowed you to basically
60.
60. Okay, good.
60.
Yep. So 60 passes that basically gave them to you, and you could actually then mint on Counterparty and use his wallet to basically take a picture of a hand-drawn piece of art. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's what it sounded like.
No, that's exactly what it was. It was like basically just a template of a card, and then it was this Pepe workshop. Everyone sat down. I sat down at a table that was way more goated than me, so I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" But it was a cool moment, just kind of seeing everyone kind of not having an idea, and that's kind of one of my favorite parts about the Pepe community, just how clever and quick everyone is. So everyone just sat down, like, "What am I gonna do?" 2 minutes later, people have ideas and just drawing stuff, and then he'd snap a photo and he'd mint it. And yeah, I definitely stole. Skrilla left his apartment key, one in the room, so I have the physical. I'm gonna auction it off and give 1% to Skrilla. No, but it was super funny because we had this Airbnb that had one key, but there was like 3 doors to get in it. So somehow, I don't know how the fuck this door works, but we left and Skrilla and Cuber got locked inside of the apartment. Like, inside, dude. And they're hitting me up and I don't have service. So I finally get to Wi-Fi and my phone's blowing up. Like, dude, what the fuck? We're locked in. Where are you? Like, where's the key? I was like, what do you mean you're locked inside?
You had to break out of the house.
Outside. It was.
We had no water. We had nothing. There was nothing in the fucking condo, and we had to be at NFT Factory to like DJ, and we could not get there. Everybody's like, "Where are these guys?" We're locked in the fucking condo, and for
Dude,
whatever.
why was this not streamed live? How come we did not have this on X live stream?
Dude, if we would have live streamed the whole thing, I swear we would have been.
You would have
crushed.
crushed.
We would have went viral.
Parasite needs to step up their Wi-Fi for cellular phones.
Yeah, and like their keys. Something about their doors. I've never heard about someone getting locked inside. I get it. 2 DJs are like, dude, where's the bright sync button to get out? But that was classic. But yeah, there was definitely just a raw energy, and the NFT Factory being across from one of the most like renowned art museums was pretty cool. I think it brought together a lot of just people walking by would stop in, and then oh yeah, that's dude. When we were fucking, I put the Pepe Cuts barber pole out front, and we're giving mullet cuts, and people were walking by just seeing like people in Pepe hats. I'm like so confused, like what the fuck is happening over here? People are getting haircuts, and there's frogs everywhere. So that was definitely a pretty solid moment.
Did
And
you
then
put together a compilation of like mullets, like of people who got mullet cuts? Can we expect?
we got photos. Fucking Shawnee, Skrilla's buddy, was fucking snapping photos the whole time. He's just the typical camera guy that takes photos and doesn't send you the link. So
Nice.
I'm just kidding. But Arwen was also walking around with this fucking knitted Pepe thing. People either had baguettes in their bag, like after work, and then this guy's just walking around with a Pepe puppet. Like, I have a pretty banging photo of that one. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the whole thing, Arwen?
Yeah, man. Well, honestly, I'm in the pub right now, obviously, because I had to come back to England, and so mandatory behaviour. But the story is hilarious and totally true. In fact, you missed the best bits. But yeah, there were so many iconic moments there. It really felt like a watershed. And it was beautiful to have like so many old school, like rare Pepe people, like eminent scientists that even I didn't think really existed. You know, like I got to meet them, and it just like blended with the new school vibe of people coming in. And it was like I say, it was hilarious. I'm sure there's many memes to come. I lost a Pepe, I made a Pepe, lost a Pepe, made a friend. You know, we had a great time. Yeah, hole in the wall, basically. if you missed it, I'm sorry, but don't miss the next one because it's absolutely massive. It was really next level fun, and if it carries on like this, Jesus Christ, Blockfest in next year is going to be wild. That's what I'm saying.
Cool.
So Skrilla, are you thinking? Or can you give us-
Arwen would just stand. Yo, hold on. Arwen would literally stand in the middle of Paris in like busy traffic, like everybody, foot traffic everywhere, and just yell Pepe as loud as he could so people could know where he is because we couldn't find
I
this
was trying.
drunk motherfucker the first 2 days.
Trying to get in the Rare Pepe collection by some secret code. Didn't work.
Skrilla, can you
I
give
did
us
get
any?
rares, though.
Pepe, like,
I got
3
fake
blocks
rares.
down,
Check out my fake rare
Arwen's
drop
over
tomorrow.
there.
Fucking or today. It's going to be massive, very expensive, very worthwhile. Free shills, Bitcoin stamps.
Forever the Bitcoin show. Skrilla, can you give us any kind of early information? Maybe the too early information about Pepe in Paris next year. Have you guys thought about the days? Is it going to be in Paris, or any changes that may come to next year?
No, I think we're all recovering from the idea. We'll put something together, but we have some, there's some stuff we want to improve on, for sure. Like, I think the main thing is just figuring out a way to get, like, we had a number, we had hundreds of people just come off the street into the gallery for sure, but I think we would do better if we had some more like Pepe propaganda, just like all over, like street posters and people, like getting people to come in, and like I think that would be good, like kind of like just like ushering people into the gallery, because I think one like Merrick, who was there, he gave an interesting critique on it, that everybody was looking at us at the gallery and outside the gallery, and like they could see like a lot going on in the gallery, but some people might have been intimidated to come in because it looked like it was like it could have been almost like a fraternal or private thing.
Sure.
So I think that's one thing we could probably improve on, is getting more people to like know to come in, like this is where you need, we're doing this for like the public. But I would say we probably had like a good like 1,000+ people, like
Wow.
individual people come through the gallery, which is pretty amazing. It was right across the street from the Pompidou, museum, which is a big kind of like modern contemporary museum in Paris that like they have a Robin's piece in there and stuff. So they do support crypto art. We were hoping that, I don't know if any of them came through. I hope they did, but they didn't tell us if they did. We wanted to kind of like flex on them, like this is what we're doing. So we would like to get some like more like people from that arena to come through and kind of even like debate us on stage and talk about it, or just give some honest conversation about what we're doing and what the art community is doing in general. I think that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't know. Again,
I mean, you might do something like. Oh, sorry to cut you off, man. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think there's a delay. But yeah, I was going to say, I think Paris is a great location for it. So maybe we'll do it again there next year. Maybe not. I don't have an idea on that right now.
Mexico.
Yeah, we definitely got a little bit of a delay. I was going to say, I mean, one of the things that like inscribing Amsterdam, what they did, for the ordinals community, I mean, they just run it right next to a big event happening. And whether Pepe, you guys could do it. I mean, you might not want to do it next to a big crypto event. You don't want to get drowned out, but maybe you do it next to an art event or something like that. Might be an interesting, strategy for next time.
Yeah.
But,
Adam. Yeah, Adam. That's normally how we do it. We've always done satellite events, and we're not worried about getting drowned out because we always take over. So like that's perfectly fine. Because Pepe events are always the best events. And no matter what, so I'm not worried about that. You go to Art Basel, everybody talks about Pepe event. You go to NFT NYC, everybody talks about Pepe event. So we don't want to take our chances and do a one-off event like that. But I do agree, like associating ourselves where more people of our, like-mindedness or whatever are there, it does help for sure. So that is probably something to think about. But I think it's cool also just to have a one-off Pepe event. And it was really good meeting all like the European collectors and artists that haven't made it over to the States. So that was yeah, everybody in the Pepe community honestly is like just really legitimate, like fucking chads. Like that's the best part about knowing about this. It's not a bunch of fucking like scammy dorks like walking around. It was everybody's a character. Everybody has like, you know, everybody's based as fuck. Like it's really a good time.
Dude, what about, we got to do a Pepe event in Nashville, and you can finally drop your country record that you were showing me. Billy's been writing some great, Little Nas featuring Nas country music. Dude, what was
we're definitely gonna have a Pepe gallery in Nashville.
All right, nice one.
Bunzy,
we're definitely gonna have a Pepe event in Nashville. That's 100%. Yeah,
the hoedown.
Bunzy, let's take this to the Amsterdam section where you were hung out there for what, like a week or so. Did you go to the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference, or were you at Inscribing Amsterdam?
Yeah, I went to both. When I say both, I went there at like noon and like went for the free lunch, and then no, there's like after going to a few conferences, like the stages are great, and of course there's like information there, but I don't think that that's where the value lies, at least for me. So I saw like Snowden and like a few main things that felt good to see live, but I was mainly just wanting to meet up with people that I've been, chatting with, hanging out with, and but I did go to both. But the funny thing at Bitcoin Amsterdam was I was literally just like trying to seek out people in ordinals. And there's a lot of, obviously, Bitcoin is like massive, and a lot of people are there specifically for that, Lightning and all types of other things Bitcoin. But the Inscribing Amsterdam portion was amazing. It was really fucking well done, and similar to the Pepe community, the ordinal community is very like tight knit, supportive, and literally, it just makes me think like, dude, fucking getting more Pepe like solid collections onto ordinals, just because like both of them mesh so well together. Just from my take on it, I don't know what that looks like, or if it's possible, or if it's even needed, but just I think even ordinal community, maybe even exploring counterparty and vice versa. I just think there's so much crossover and so much, not tangible metrics to like measure, like, it's just will sound cheesy, but everyone's very on the same vibe of like what they're here for, why they're collecting, their feelings about, self-sovereignty and all of these things. And then, we got Dogfather, who, man, we had such a good time. We even found some magic truffles. We were on an adventure, me and Dogfather. We found some very, very nice truffles in the heart of Amsterdam.
Whoa.
Next to bright red lights. We were confused what those were about, but we, yeah, dude. But I see you got your hand up. I'd love to hear your take on what you thought about Amsterdam, and everyone else listening. Please feel free to, tag someone that was there. Let's get them up here. It's a cool time to reconnect with everybody, and if you don't want to get on stage, just leave a comment of your favorite parts of Pepe Paris, or BTC Amsterdam, or Inscribe Amsterdam, because I think one of the biggest values was the connections that we all made. So I think it would be cool just to reconnect with everyone. So, but yeah, Dogfather, what was your hot take? Was it a 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10? How are the mushrooms?
Yeah, I would say it was a clear 11. So I had really a blast. I mean, meeting you and all the other legends. I mean, I was exclusively going to the Inscribing event on Saturday, plus the party before on Friday with some friends. And honestly, that was the first conference I went from breakfast to the after party. So from 8:30 in the morning to midnight. I mean, really, without going anywhere else. I mean, maybe once or twice in coffee shop, but other than that, I was really around the clock over there, and I really met all new, and it was really awesome. I mean, the stages were cool, the coffee breaks were cool. I mean, honestly, best thing you can do. Really, I mean, really awesome organization. I mean, most of you were like in the Ordner show yesterday, so we celebrated the organizers already, but it was really a blast. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And the truffles, yeah, they were really cool.
Bunzy or Dogfather, what would you say was the hot topic throughout the week or at the event? Was it something just about actually inscribing? Were there new product releases? What caught your attention?
To be honest, like that was kind of the cool part about it. There wasn't like one topic that everyone was just like you would imagine, or like at least for me, like the BRC20 rune thing. You thought that would be like talked about a bunch. Like that wasn't discussed, and it was more so of just about people really kind of reflecting on what has happened. And but on the technical side, like talking with Raf and the ordinal maintainer team, is parent-child inscriptions update, which will it's been rolling out, but they're going to be pushing like the live to the main repo, and Raf kind of showed examples of that, and then also doing bulk inscriptions more efficiently. But yeah, to be honest, it wasn't big alpha on the technical front. It was more so just solidifying, like, look how far we've come in such a short amount of time. And even at the Bitcoin conference, Snowden, people were talking about ordinals on main stage, which was like, I think very significant for a lot of reasons. And yeah, that's, again, maybe I'd love to hear someone else's take, but that's kind of like with me, like at first I thought these conferences would be like, this is where the alpha and like all the cutting edge information is. But to me, it was more so about just connecting, and because like with the market kind of, I think we can all agree, becoming a little stagnant, it was super inspiring seeing like how many real motherfuckers there are working their ass off every day and working towards making ordinals a very significant data layer on Bitcoin. And that's like, for me, I walked away like really ready to get back to work.
Yeah, you hit me.
but again,
You hit me up literally right after you landed in America, and you're like, "Dude, I'm ready to get back to work on everything that we had been working on, right, with Omnisat and Emblem and everything of that nature." Crypto conferences, I'm pretty convinced the reason they exist is to solidify those relationships. I mean, the one and only time I ever met Adam was at a conference. Eric, who's also one of the co-founders of Emblem in the crowd, the one and only time I met him was at NFT NYC, right? A lot of time you see even teams spend the conferences mostly just bonding. For example, you look at D Gods last year at NFT NYC, they rented out like an entire floor for the entire team to just hang out, and they didn't even go to the conference. They just did like all their own little side events so that you could kind of mix and match with your own team, but then kind of fortify those business relationships moving forward. And it sounds like through everyone's experience here who's on stage, it sounds like that was very, very similar.
yeah, because like in this technology, I believe we're all like very focused on efficiency and like, scaling everything. But some things that you can't put a metric on, like relationships, and why do we need an office? We're fucking all working online. Everyone's getting their shit done. But at the end of the day, we're still humans, and I think getting that like reconnection, especially for a community or a group of people that are so deprived from like human interactions, it was like, I think that's why everyone was just like so high energy. Like I was fucking so exhausted by the end, but like the last thing I wanted to do was go back and sleep. I was just like, this is like, it was very like rejuvenating. But Chris has had his hand up, and I think Chris can relate to this, but I'd love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, it definitely looked electric out there. The energy looked unmatched. I was just kind of curious, what do you guys think that were there of this year compared to previous Pepe Fests, and kind of where the energy was and how everyone was feeling about it? What did you guys think compared to the previous years? We're making a ton of progress. Was the energy levels the same, or what are you guys' thoughts?
I think Skrilla. I haven't been to the last one I was at was
it's always
Pepe, and I
they're
haven't been.
always good.
Very
There's
detailed,
like a
very
5-second
detailed
delay, bro.
reply.
And
Stamps was smashing it. Stamps was taking over all marriage.
No,
I'm getting back out. Not being funny, I love the Lord knows, but I fucking get hard.
Stamps taking over. Hey yo. No, Christian, like every Pepe gallery we've done has been like 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Like it's always been great. I don't know. It's been good. The only thing I would say about, probably the last 2 Pepe galleries we've done is they've been in like, the barest of the barest of bear markets. So as far as like collecting with the fever that they have been in the past, that obviously on the decline a little bit, but it's been all good. I don't really know. I guess like what I'm trying to say is like it's fucking lit. Everything's fucking lit.
yeah, the Pepe.
Maybe somebody else can chime in on that. But I've been to every Pepe gallery, obviously, and they've all been good.
From what I've seen, I haven't been to any of the Pepe shows yet. Yeah, you can chastise me and bring your pitchforks out. I'll be there eventually. But there's a high degree of preference for art, and it makes it look like at least from the outside looking in, that it resembles similar to like a traditional art gallery, but it has that kind of embedded Pepe culture, right? Because Pepe is an art form, and it's an emerging art form that it feels like most don't even recognize yet, outside of us that are just all terminally online and on it 24/7. But to me, the Pepe conferences is all about kind of showcasing the malleability of the Pepe art form, where you can have, Viva's kids making Jesus Pepes or come to Jesus Pepes, right? You have Pepe Angela painting physical Pepe artwork, right? You have Bunzy and Skrill up there DJing with Qbert. There's just all these different forms of art kind of coalescing around one little area. To me, at least from the outside, that's how I view it.
What was it? Impressionism, surrealism, and then Pepeism were the art history.
Yeah, well said. Welcome, Andy. Were you? What was your take on all of it?
I just got here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to exist.
Were you at
Fuck
Pepe?
yeah.
Were you at Pepe Fest or Bitcoin Amsterdam?
No, were these both in Amsterdam? Both of them?
Paris was in Amsterdam.
Well,
I got that the one was in Amsterdam, but the Pepe one.
No, it was. They were. Yeah, Pepe Fest was in Paris, and then, but Inscribe Amsterdam and Bitcoin Amsterdam were both in Amsterdam.
Inscribe, like it was all about inscriptions on ETH or something, or Bitcoin.
On ordinals, it was But I kind of want to piggyback of what you were saying, Jake, too, and like why I think I love Pepe and like the community so much is there's not too many other communities, like with the true value proposition to this point being provenance and collectability and art. These other collections aren't leaning into physical artwork to really represent what they're talking about. They're just saying words like, I'm here for the art, and they don't really lean into it in any significant way. And the cool thing about Pepe is like, you can go to an exhibition and it could be something about like realism or maybe an oil painter, and you go in and you really just digest oil painting, or you digest, ceramic or something, or just some few artists that all sit around the same medium. But with Pepe, it's like there's artists from every different medium, every different walk of life, different approach to everything, from like extremely extreme, like thousands of hours put into a piece to like 10 minutes put into a piece, which I think the juxtaposition there is beautiful, because it's like just the amount of time isn't always what something is equal, like value wise, and like how it makes people feel and stuff. But because coming from like an industry, say like hip hop, you go to a hip hop show, everyone's so similar, and it's almost like boring to some degree, because everyone's like arguing over who's the best hip hop or whatever. Just silly. Maybe that's not the best example, but I think just bringing people from all different genres, all different mediums. Even then, you have NFT gallery where it's like digital artwork being represented, and I think that's why like this model, if you will, is like unmatched because it breeds a healthy relationship. There's no competitiveness, I think you can say, because like when you're in a traditional art world or traditional industry, sometimes people are like, "Oh, this person does it better. This person does it better." But like in Pepe and all these events, it's like this person does it different, and everyone really embraces that and like really takes time to talk about pieces. And like that was my biggest takeaway is how different every artist is, and like how positive that is for people to connect over. Because when everyone's doing the same thing, sometimes when I was doing music full time, it was like very it got very narrow very quick. So that was one of my favorite parts about it. But so Viva, I want to ask you too, like you've been crushing like pieces nearly probably every day, but like what was your kind of feeling, or like how many Pepe events have you been to? Because you play like a very significant role, and you know you're a part of pretty much everything as it emerges. But kind of want to just hear your take on how everything was going about, and then when it comes to street like takeovers, I would love to hear your take on like, say we do another event, what could a street team do? Because we have the it seems like Pepe has the right people to fucking destroy a city. Because me and Skrilla put up at least like hundreds of Skrilla stickers one night while we are just drinking beers and walking down the street. So yeah, I'd love to hear your take on all of
I
that
think
that I
we
just
need
mumbled.
to have Arvin running through the street with a giant knitted Pepe shouting at people. That would work. I think, I'm not sure, to be honest, that one, I mean, I've been a part of a lot of the Pepe shows, but actually going to them, I've only been to one before that was in London. That was a smaller sort of one-day event. So this was also my sort of first experience of getting everyone together like that. But I completely agree with what you say. Like, I've been to a lot of other shows that are unrelated to this before working as an illustrator and doing things in the music industry. I completely hear what you're saying about things it becomes a bit boring because, like you say, you meet a lot of the people with the same sort of thing because they're trying to fit into a box. And so you've got to be moving in a certain way in order to get work, I found, in some places. So the fact that you've got a bunch of artists getting together with Pepe doing anything they want with complete freedom is just a breath of fresh air. And I've not come across that before with anything. So I think getting a collective like that together just feels really unique, but it also feels really genuine. No one's forcing anyone to be there. These people have all ended up there because, you know, it's been their natural path to get there. So because of that, I think that's why it's got this unique feel to it.
Viva, how would you say your Pepe style has evolved over the last, we'll just say, year or so, from the first Pepe artwork that you put out to now? How has that changed?
I think I made a real effort to change it from when I started because I didn't want to just draw him exactly as he was from Matt Fury's one. I thought I wanted to try it and make him so people could look at it and know that I drew it pretty much straight away.
You fucking nailed that, bro. God damn. Oh, that's amazing.
So I wanted to draw him like I would. One of my favorite things in graffiti was letter forms weren't necessarily my strongest point, but drawing characters was. And I definitely had a sort of style of drawing characters. So I wanted to carry that over into, if I was drawing Pepe as a graffiti character, how would he look? And that's how I sort of tried to transform him into. So yeah, I didn't want it just to be exactly like everybody else's one, sort of put my own sort of stamp on him.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is like, yeah, so as we like, all right, we're switching from Pepe Paris to Bitcoin Amsterdam. But you know what's crazy is like Pepe was fucking at Bitcoin Amsterdam. There was a whole gallery dedicated to Pepe. And I think that just speaks to kind of the points that I think we're all highlighting, is like some, not by accident, but like being bred from the internet, Bitcoin and Pepe, like they're just so tied together that like even if someone tried to do an event with one or without the other, like both would show up, if that makes sense. Like Bitcoin Amsterdam wasn't focused on Pepe, but Pepe made the most significant presence in their art gallery, no question. And I think that's just super interesting to really think about, is like as we like look back on maybe where Pepe is going to be in 50 years, is like it's definitely going to be very, very relevant and evolving. And it's so crazy how far just one sketch from like a frog can go. And I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about just the Pepe IP, right, you'd think that it's CCO, and it's not. Matt Fury still owns the IP, but I think he's generally aware that it's out of the box and it's out of his control in terms of enforcing it. So from what I've seen, he really only enforces IP infringement against those who, I guess, disseminate the Pepe ideals, right, like right-wing kind of propaganda, things of that nature. But when you look at kind of Pepe as an art form, go ahead. Sorry.
Jake, that's arguable as well, to be honest with you. He doesn't, I don't think he, sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I feel like that's very arguable. Like there was a moment where I would think, I don't know. Like Pepe is like, has moved way beyond what Matt's character is. It definitely was like the genesis of like this modern memeing, but frogs have, been drawn for eons, representing this chaotic like jester era that we're in. And it's very, if you pull out, it's very meta what these frogs represent in this era. I mean, get deep into the philosophy on it, but yeah, I don't think that if you look at fake rares, I would say like maybe like just off the top of my head, like maybe like 5% of them even use anything resembling what Matt Fury's original Pepe the Frog looked like. And also on top of that, rare Pepe spawned from Pepe the Frog for sure, but it became, the internet is what made rare Pepe. And that they're different. And I think if somebody really got into like a court battle with some real lawyering up, I don't think that, I think we're past all that. I know there was a time period where, 2016, 17, where that was arguable for sure. But, even Matt himself has embraced, I think, the derivatives of it all. I'm speaking for him on that, but I mean, he obviously did with Rare Pepe because he made a Rare Pepe. And also whatever Matt put in, and I own Matt's art, like physical art. I'm a huge fan. I think Matt's one of the best contemporary illustrators and cartoonists and frog drawers in the fucking world for sure. Facts. So what I'm trying to say is like Matt gave us that genesis, but also Rare Pepe, and this is something I don't think people harp on enough, is like Rare Pepe gave Matt the opportunity to make millions of dollars in his artwork because he discovered the ability to sell digital art, and he created, his own thing. And he even like kind of trolled Rare Pepe's back by calling his collection Rare Pepe on his thing. And he's playing the game as well. So we're past all that. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see that type of IP issues come up again, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm not a lawyer, but I live with one.
Yeah. No, we've discussed that enough to know you're right there, especially when it gets down to this artwork, use of art and derivatives and stuff. Yeah, I think you're totally right.
Yeah, well, I'm a lawyer. This is legal advice. That Jester era, dude, that's a banger. I like that. I'm gonna definitely steal that and copyright it and then sue you. Jester era is a very good way to describe where we're at with memes and how we communicate online. I think that coins it pretty fucking well.
Yeah, when you look at
you look at the Jester. The Jester is what always over time has been the source of truth. Like that's how it always has like played out, and like that's what we're in right now. We need a source of truth because everything is fucking fake. So like fake rares plays on that meta as well. Like everything is unbelievable. Everything's fake. Like the money's fake, the art's fake, fucking your titties are fake. Like there's fake news. There's everything's fucking fake. You don't know what to believe. And like even like with all the conflicts in the world and the geopolitical stuff playing out, like you can see it like take even like more shape right now. So like the frog is like that source of for whatever reason, this isn't like something new. This goes back literally like hundreds, thousands of centuries. Like the frog has always played that role, and that's just how it is. Like we're it's very meta using that. I think that saying that Pepe the Frog is like the jester. Like it really is.
Yeah, so it's one of the reasons why I'm really excited for us to start this kind of Rare Pepe, Fake Rare series and conversations on Wednesdays, because tomorrow we're talking with Stu and Jake Fried, who also have fake rares that are pretty popular. And it's interesting to hear about how they interpret Pepe and how it kind of folds into their art, where, for example, like Pepe is his art. Well, geometric Pepes and of that nature. And then Jake's art with Pepes, seems to have a large fascination with it, because he tweets about it pretty often, and the artwork's really cool. So I think fake rares in general has had a huge impact on kind of the legacy of Pepe, and kind of how people have begun to extrapolate after it. One of my favorite aspects of it is kind of these character Pepes, right? That Viva has done, Rare Skrill, you've done some as well, and how they kind of take on their own type of unique ideals, and they can eventually come off and be its own, not just derivative, but its own kind of character in essence. But I was going to ask you, Skrill, this of character Pepes. You have the one that's kind of the famous one from Fake ASF, also DJ Pepe. Going back, to the early days of Pepe, what were like those early kind of conversations around morphing Pepe into like its own unique character? Was there any type of like a philosophical debate around it, or did some people want to keep Pepe in its kind of most natural form?
Yeah, I don't remember any philosophical debates on it. I think people just always use like Pepe as a canvas of like internet ideas, and that's it. Kind of just, yeah, there was never any of that. Like some people would be like in the Rare Pepe channel back in the day, like I remember like you'd be like, oh man, you just turned, like you had an artwork and you just photoshopped it green and made it a Pepe. Like there was some like stuff like that, like like debate like around that, or there was debate around like some of the like more like hardcore Pepe, like 4chan types that were in there. They would be very pro like if the Pepe doesn't have like a message of some sort, they would hate on it, or if it wasn't original content, stuff like that. So there's always been like certain debates that have carried this Pepe different like I guess like seasons of Pepe around, but no, I don't think as far as like, oh, you need to keep it looking like Matt Fury's. I think everybody that is really into Pepe, like they kind of want to get away from that, like, and for the most part, like they don't want to like duplicate somebody's art. Like they're trying to like take the idea and grow it. Like that's kind of like like we're all very friendly, and we're all very like there's really no like there's not a lot of like there's not a lot of like friends within the Pepe culture. You have like little things that happen here and there, but for the most part, everybody like Viva was saying, or Bunzy was saying earlier, like everybody kind of like supports each other. But there is like competitiveness in the fact that everybody wants to make a Pepe that stands out through all of the Pepes that are being created. I mean, that's definitely something I think that happens, but it's not like in a hater way where like Bunzy was saying, like in the music industry, you have a ton of haters. Like it's oh man, you fucking sample, oh you don't put drums in your beat, oh he's fucking using fucking Fruity Loops or shit like that. But you don't have any of that here. Like it doesn't matter. You can make an AI Pepe or a fucking oil painting Pepe, and it usually gets well received if it carries the weight basically.
Yeah, an interesting dynamic as well with Pepe than comparative to anyone else is not only is Pepe malleable that you could turn it into characters, you can use Pepe in forms of music or MP4s or all this nature. It's also dependent on the blockchain that you're minting that character on. I do feel like the Pepe community that exists on Ethereum seems to be quite different from those that are minted on Bitcoin. And then you have Pepe of stamps, Pepe ordinals, and Pepe counterparty, and those all kind of have like its own unique communities as well in terms of the foundation, I guess, that Pepe lays on. You know, Bunzy's one of these kind of multi-chain memers that has not Pepe but mullet punks that exists on, I think, 4 or 5 different protocols at the time. Bunzy, what is your opinion on that? And also having communities that are all part of one kind of mullet punk, but yet they exist simultaneously on different Ethereum protocols and multiple Bitcoin protocols as well.
Yeah, I think, at least for me, it's going back to kind of like being in an industry where, kind of to piggyback off what Skrilla was saying, like where there are haters, like that's a real thing. And for me in music, like it did start to affect me enough to where I didn't want to create. It wasn't as fun. I felt like, it just turned into something it wasn't. And I think that's why entering like the Pepe community was so like, holy shit, this is what it can be. And this is what, surrounding yourself with peers that are so different that, there's not just judgment. Like, I don't know, using music's the best. The only one I really know is just because it's like, all right, so you have these hip hop guys like Skrilla was saying, and it's like, yeah, if you don't use Pro Tools to record vocals, like that shit, or like they're so worried about the process rather than just like, the enjoying of doing it. But I guess to bring that full circle with like the chains is like, one thing for me that I like about all this is learning new technologies, and when something comes out, experimenting with it. And so when there is something that's fascinating to me and it's quote unquote early, I don't learn by like reading a blog or watching, or I have to like mess with it. I have to put stuff on it. I have to, mess around and figure out, make my wallet, figure out how to put whatever kind of information I want, whether it's JPEG, a shit coin or something on this chain for me to really understand it. So it's been like a cool way to, learn about this technology while at the same time create along the way. So I don't know. It's a cool way, I feel like, to educate people if I like put myself on a pedestal, which sounds shitty, which I'm not trying to do, but like if people are going to like check out what I'm doing, I can at least encourage people to check out new technologies as well and not be like just focused on one chain, because as we know, this technology evolves every day. And if you're like pigeonholed into one thing, I don't think you're exposing yourself properly, especially like on the investment side. But I don't know. That is a good question. But I see Arwen, do you have an idea? And stamps are going to moon, right?
Yeah, stamps mooning, but I'm not here to say that. We all know that, right? Oh, maybe not. I'm not here to shill it. Point is, what I'm here to talk about is the community, the hip hop vibe. Hip hop is not a project; it's a movement. It's like hip hop is Pepe. The whole I was overhearing the conversation about branding and cultures and stuff like this. And for example, the reason, like, Bunzy's one of my best friends in the game. Legit, he's an absolute dude and a gentleman as well. That's true and important. I seen him just this week when he could have lost his shit totally, and he didn't, and that's very Pepe of him, bro. And that's what this is all about. It's like we all come from a remix culture. I'm rocking right now a flock. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm rocking a flock with a mullet and a Pepe all together. It's like, the reason I know Bunzy is because I happened to walk into a space one day about mullets. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And Skrilla's in there talking to Bunzy. He's like, bro, Arwen's got a mullet. And I'm like, I haven't got a mullet. I look at my girlfriend. She's like, you've totally got a mullet. I was like, shit, I got a mullet. Yes, I'm already here. It's like, We're here to remix each other's ideas, and it's Pepe. We're all Pepe, bro, whether we like it or not. Mostly we don't, but like it's the lesson, it's the community. We're all Pepe, because Pepe is something bigger than all of us, really. But it's like we're all here for the same reason, the Holy Grail thing. I'm not going to take credit for this, but I was privy to a conversation that was possibly overheard by Oliver earlier on in the day, where we're talking about Pepe's the Holy Grail, like Pepe will wash your head down the toilet, but if you're still breathing afterwards, he's going to make you a king, He is going to send you to Jesus, bro. That's a fact. Like all the stuff, yeah, the holes, the friendships, like came for the memes, stayed for the lads, you know what I mean? And ladies and in betweenies, whatever. I'm judging on pronouns, but like hell yeah, we had a good time. The vibe was infectious. I was in Amsterdam as well. I didn't spend too long there, but again, we were there for the people. I look forward next year when we can take stamps on tour in the same way. But like infrastructure movement, we're a small underground group, same as Pepe, but we're having our time. We're not going anywhere. And thanks for everyone who supports us. But like we support Ordinals too. I support Casey strongly. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Casey. Like love to everybody. Take the numbers off the tins and let nature take its course, man. Hip hop first, currencies later.
Currencies
later. Hey, I do have a question though. So Art Basel's coming up. What is there any type of Pepe installment, or I'm sure there's going to be obviously some gallery, there's going to be Pepe pieces, but is there anything occurring there? Skrilla, Viva, or anyone? What's the alpha on Art Basel?
You just go down to Miami and party, man. That's what the alpha is.
We're the frog.
Yeah, we're working on something possibly. I'm gonna be honest, like we all got a little burnt out after Paris from the amount of we put hundreds of hours into that, and it was a bit of a burnout to then go and try to get artists to create masterpieces in a 2-month turnaround. So we are trying to figure something out to do, but it might be on a smaller scale. I'm literally in a chat right now talking to a few people about how to do it. But I think ideally, to be honest with you, if some of the Pepe communities, what happened with Pepe at Paris, some of the sponsors, I think if we all pulled a little bit of resources together, venue that we used last year. But Miami is the most expensive place to do a gallery. It's way more expensive than New York and Paris and other places we've done.
Really?
So maybe it makes sense to get some people together and figure out how to pull it together and just get some kind of Pepe thing popped up there, but not on the same scale that it was done in Paris for sure. Because I don't think the artists, we can't tap the artists to create these things. And then also the collectors are a bit tapped out. We're in the people are worried about World War III right now. They're not really out there spending crazy amounts of money on Pepe's, to be real. So we have to figure out if we're gonna do it. We have to do it in a way that isn't just oh, you gotta fucking sell your artwork. I think more just maybe a night, a club night or something that just has some digital artifacts popped up for a few days, collectively, through the Ordinals and the XDP and stamps communities would make a lot of sense. So I don't know, anybody want to tap in?
We need DJ Bunzy. We need DJ Bunzy. That's what brings the people, man. Did you see that shit? It's fucking junglist, bro. Amazing.
Dude,
yeah.
Tap me.
Yo,
in,
how many times
I
did
do.
this motherfucker? Yo, this motherfucker said jump up jungle at least 1,000 times.
Bro,
he said
everyone's a junglist now. I love
1,000 fucking times.
Dude,
Bro, he leans into his strengths, man. Lean in.
Times, bro. Jump up jungle. Hey, jump up jungle. Jump up jungle.
Dude,
hey, yo, dude, I can't believe Cupid played jump up jungle. Hey, yo, Cupid, did you know you played jump up jungle? Hey, yo.
Dude,
Jungle
we
is
gotta get
massive,
locked
bro.
inside a room, bro. You got locked inside of a house, dude. You could have played some jump up and figured it out. No, but dude, tap me in, because I do think that what you're saying is a collective of just, because basically the to me, the like daytime gallery and all that, I think it's like one night takeover of like ordinals, Pepe, stamps, counterparty. Like I said previously, to bring this full circle, is like it is everyone. The vibe is so similar, and it would be, I think, advantageous to like push that in the right direction, because going from Paris to Amsterdam, everyone was talking about Bitcoin being the root, artwork, and all of these things. And I do think there's a really, I think there's just like one night. So if someone has a club, knows that like a promoter in Miami, I think fucking we get Skrilla, Qbert, Arwen on the decks, Bunzy to play some jump up, and then just have fucking just some live artists, and Viva just fucking doing fucking guerrilla warfare, putting up like thousands of wheat paste posters. And
I'm chipping in on that, bro. I want to see that. Make the brand you want to see. I'm coming to that party. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, I mean, it does come down to like the connections everyone has, and I don't know. I do think that's a way for the community to repay kind of the teams, you know, that are doing this all off the sweat of their back. Like they're fucking, you know, putting in so much work, and I do think it could be a cool way to, you know, just get that conversation going. And I think it's a good place to start it. We got some really dedicated people in here, and I selfishly just want to go back to Miami, dude. Miami is so fucking dope.
I think you're just on the high. You're just on the high from traveling the world over the last month, man.
Yeah, but dude, have you ever traveled on a plane, got off, and seen a frog and some weird guy on the internet that you've never met? You're just like, wait, what the fuck, dude? This is sick.
All the fucking time, bro. All the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Let's run it back.
Yo, can I shout out Dogfather one more time as well? We're all here because he's like long time killing. I didn't get to meet him in Amsterdam. I left early, but we've never met, you know. But since I started in crypto and XCP, well, since I started in XCP for sure, like he's been there flying the flag, and I see he's killing it right now. So I see him in the room. I just want to be like, shout out, bro. You have your time. Fucking own that shit. It's like all of us are responsible. Viva, Square, everyone here, Hawkchop, Songbird, FBI. I see so many people in the chat that you know, I just wish we could all connect together. And like Skrilla says, it's tough times now. It's bear market, and not everybody can be there to not. It's not to flex, but even to connect in these difficult times. But we can see it all's coming back. And what I want to be is when we're all in this chat, all just watching DJ Bunzy do his jump up set, fucking going, bro, this is it, man. You know, like that's it. Like we're not going to stop building, bro. Just come and join us. We're going to make it happen.
Absolutely beautiful. Dogfather, I did want to ask you though, you know, pivoting this away a little bit from Pepe and more into the technical stuff. At Bitcoin, inscribing Amsterdam, was there anything that caught your attention in terms of new technical developments or anything that you found interesting?
I think to me the most inspiring thing was the talk on stage by Julian Assange's brother, you know, the WikiLeaks founder. I mean, this was to me like this Snowden moment from Bitcoin Amsterdam. So this was really like about, okay, we were really kind of like dried out, you know, when they were running WikiLeaks, because I mean, PayPal, all the credit card companies were not, you know, supporting them, you know, money transfers. The only thing that rescued their asses was like crypto. And so this is really coming back to why we are doing that. So this was so inspiring. So I mean, I was not really seeing any new technical developments. It was really like what you were saying, like these moments plus the bonding, you know, and making friends. You know, I mean, the Ordinals community is still relatively young. I mean, we are talking about, you know, less than a year. So that's extremely young. So these events are very, very important to build a community, and that's then the basis for future growth and developments.
So from that conversation, do you think it caught or maybe sparked some interest in individuals using using the ordinal theory to inscribe important documentation or like thoughts to put into the blockchain? Is that kind of what that conversation surrounded?
Yeah, so he was talking about the history, WikiLeaks history, but we have seen recently that people started to inscribe important documents on the Bitcoin. are using ordinals, from WikiLeaks, so important documents, and just to secure them forever, even though WikiLeaks may run out of money to pay the servers one day, those documents are still there. And I think that's apart from art and fun and memes, a very important feature of ordinals, that we can easily put these documents that are like important to have them in 100 years or even more, that we put them on Bitcoin.
Yeah, Adam and I have talked about this a bunch, about the importance of inscription and data. Adam, what do you think about the future of maybe ordinals or just the inscription service in general? Do you think that is one of the major breakout cases that appeals to individuals outside of speculating on digital artifacts?
Yeah, I think it's to touch back on what Skrilla was saying earlier. When you don't know what's real, being able to timestamp things on, the hardest chain on earth, is important. I don't think we see it right now exactly why it's important, but we all get this feeling, right? We've lost our grounding on what's real. And so it's not played out yet. I think I made a post earlier this week where we're kind of like in this early battleground stage, and I don't think we as people fully understand it yet. We're on the front line because we're in crypto. We know something's needed, this kind of grounding effect, and we feel like blockchain can be that grounding kind of base layer. We kind of intuitively know it, but we don't really know how it's going to work yet. And so, these first efforts, with WikiLeaks, I listened to that Julian Assange talk. I encourage everybody to go listen to it. Just how important Bitcoin was in supporting WikiLeaks. And I think you see it now, where if something like that were to happen again, would you just inscribe it directly onto Bitcoin? I would encourage that. Like, it just makes sense. So it's still early stages, but I just think, you just get this feeling that what we're doing here is important for humanity, right? And so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, my history may be off, but if I remember correctly, in the very, very early days, in the first few years of Bitcoin's history, Julian Assange and the community of Bitcoin wanted to use Bitcoin for a form of payment on WikiLeaks, and Satoshi was actually like really against it because he thought it crashed the blockchain.
Well, when you go back and read, Satoshi was like, do not encourage this. Did not want people to encourage WikiLeaks to do this, because and rightly so, he understood, you bring in WikiLeaks, you're going to bring in the attention, and Satoshi left soon after that. So I mean, it's literally coincides with Gavin going and giving a talk at it was CIA headquarters, I believe, about Bitcoin, trying to convince him, oh no, Bitcoin's a good thing, and Satoshi was like, okay, I'm out. Satoshi saw the writing on the wall, and we all see it too. And like, this was 2010, 2011. We weren't fully convinced that we were being propagandized. Now in 2023, it's all clear as day, right? How we're being propagandized by our own governments. So, the importance of blockchains, we don't really understand it yet. Nobody on earth understands it yet, but I think we're going to know in about a decade where we stand.
So you're telling me Larry Fink going on CNBC yesterday is not bullish for my bags?
Super bullish, but look, are they going to try and control this thing? Most def, like 1,000,000%, right? So how it plays out, we are on the battle lines of freedom right now. Believe it or not, we are absolutely here. Is it going to be controlled by individuals, or is it going to be controlled by TradFi and the people who are currently in power? That battle is clearly underway. And we are a small group against a massive, massive power with all the money and all the resources. But we actually have a really good chance of winning this thing.
Dare I say, inscribing fixes this?
It's a piece.
Definitely fixes this.
Stamps fixes this. That's what it
Stamps
is.
definitely fixes this.
100%, but 99% is okay if it's going to be half the price.
I mean, to be honest, like, I'm glad you brought that up, Dogfather, because I think we've been talking about this idea for literally since ordinal, or since the inscription idea was implemented in January. was that using Bitcoin as a storage layer, I thought was the biggest use case, more than just ordinals itself and kind of the tokenization, I guess, of Bitcoin. And to this day, still no one's really built that tool. The quote unquote, you could do the Library of Alexandria on Bitcoin. Somebody just needs to create a portal that makes it very easy for someone to upload different types of documents, and then you could go and sort it based off of topics. It'll need some curation, but you know, if I wasn't at Emblem, it would probably be the thing that I'm working on, or maybe we just build it in general. But I'll be excited to see what when that pops up or when that's implemented. If
Hey, DM me, Jake, about that. DM me. I'll talk about glyphs. No, not Shelley, just DM me.
all right, I will. Dogfather, what's on your mind?
I mean, it's inevitable that we have someone is way smarter than me doing some AI tool to analyze all these contents. And I think some indexes are, some explorers are already doing that to filter out not safe for work stuff. And they probably analyze the pictures, and if it's looking a bit too nude and a bit too, sexual, that they kind of not showing that. And they can easily also pass through all the text and check out whether that's something like, some looks like an important document that they should put into this library.
Yeah, I hope someone out there listening does it, or somebody in the future. I mean, I tried to go in and inscribe my own types of documents. I think Ordinal Bot put out something recently that puts or helps you with I think it's called the Markdown file. I tried to do it myself, and I literally could not figure it out for the life of me. So I need somebody to make it very simple for our smooth brains. Go ahead, Dogfather.
I mean, right now it's really simple. I mean, with the tool that Ordinals bot are providing, you can easily do that. You just put on the left-hand side your text, and it's basically like just a simplified HTML version. And on the right-hand side, you see the outcome. You can link to pictures using recursive inscriptions just by linking it. So it's relatively easy, I would say. So I could figure it out. I have a video out there. So it cannot be complicated, because otherwise I would have screwed up as well. So just try it out. It's really pretty cool.
Too.
And and it's it's just text, so it's super cheap. You don't need to. I mean, if you need a new picture, of course you need to inscribe it first. But you can basically use the 1 million or 2 million images that are already inscribed, and you can link to them, and also to several ones of them. So it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, very, very, very exciting stuff. You know, I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. Bunzy, I'm glad that you're back, man, so that we get to build. Do you want to close this out? Maybe give us a little bit of maybe Omnisat Alpha, and then Adam, I'll wrap it up right after.
Yeah. One of the big reasons heading out to Bitcoin Amsterdam was to start to showcase some of the other teams, what we're and been able to achieve with Omnisat, being able to, building a DEX is, you need a lot of different tools, especially on Bitcoin where there's not too much tooling built. So we got a lot of exciting partnerships, forming, and a lot of new tools, basically tools that we've built that other people need. And when you connect the two, we get a lot of, I guess, tools that we're used to seeing on Ethereum and other DeFi protocols, coming to Ordinals, because, ETH was testnet, and a lot of the things that got proven out on ETH, are going to start making their way to Ordinals, to make, DeFi and a lot of these other, how do I say it, like specific type of financial toolings to help people stake and do all types of stuff. And where there's deep liquidity, you can do a lot of interesting things. And Bitcoin being the god chain with how much. Let's look at the market.
You got a rubber ducky in the background there? What's going on, bro? Are you in the bath right now with your rubber ducky?
I'm working on my piece for Miami. I'm doing rubber ducks with mullets floating from Colombia to Miami. And it's gonna be a whole flock of them. There might even be sheeps. No, got my dog playing with toys, excited for me to be home. And yeah, I mean, also just with Emblem Vault kind of, I think, helping a big surge for Pepe's has been really cool to see people being able to vault these assets from all these different chains. And, you know, as we see more and more chains emerge and Emblem Vault continue just being able to vault them, it's a super powerful thing. So I'm excited to, you know, keep working and, you know, working and helping you guys out. And I'm excited. Especially what was crazy is talking with like Raph and, you know, the whole Ordinal team and like Cypher and all this stuff about BRC20s. We've actually come up with some really cool things on how to fix a lot of the edge cases. They were over beers, so they're still just theory, but it was really helpful just talking with people that don't think about BRC20s the same way, people that use them every day. So there was a lot of good insight there, and there's a lot of people building some really cool stuff. I'll let them share it. I don't want to, you know, take their moment, but some people were sharing some really cool information with me, and yeah, excited for how we wrap up, you know, the Q4 and the rest of this year with how much products are going to start getting released.
Dude, that rubber ducky is just made that recap perfect. It's
perfect. It's going to be squeaky clean, dude. This shit's going to work. We're not going to test it. It's going to be squeaky clean. It's going to be great.
Mullet ducks. Well, for those that don't know,
mullet ducks.
We host this show, you know, Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. The rest of the week, tomorrow, we're back at the same time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, with Batstu and Jake Freed, titled "The Artists of Fake Rares." Right, this is now going to be the second Pepe focused show, and we're going to continually build that out. And Bunzy's going to take a more active role in that as we help build that out. And then on Thursday, we have a very special time at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're talking with Casey Rottermore, the creator of
Let's
Ordinals.
Go.
This will be the first time we've talked with him on a Spaces since over a year. And Adam, I, and Leo had talked with Casey on a Spaces August. I think it was August 1st of last year. So a few months before the mainnet even launched. So finally get to catch back up with him after a year. And I think we're just going to talk about shitcoins, honestly, for at least an hour or two, unless Casey burns or pisses some more people off, and then we could talk about that as well.
If you guys look up top on the what do you call that? Up top, I've linked to Bunzy's 2 posts for those spaces, so you can set the reminder now, so you don't miss those spaces with that. Especially that one with Casey is going to be awesome. And so tomorrow it's
Fake
with Bats, and then Casey on Thursday. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, we're spinning the show up. We're going to be able to host a lot of community spaces as Emblem goes and migrates all these communities. We'll have Spells of Genesis, Memory Chain, you know, XCP, Doge Party. We're going to be hosting and curating a lot of those so that we could bring everyone together. So Stamps is next after all the ERC, after all the LEM 55s are done this week. Stamps is the first 721 collection we're doing.
Let's go.
Exciting
After
time.
everything goes to zero, Stamps will be the last one to go to zero. So
permanent.
No, but I do like the idea for also just something to take away is like for the community to think, anyone that's going to Art Basel, I do think doing something for the Pepe community at like just some event, just jump into the gallery, just start drawing frogs places or whatever, however you think Pepe could do a little installation or a takeover. Hit up Skrilla, have him pay for it, and it will be a good time.
All right, everyone.
Bunzy will bring the green lines out.
There we go.
Who's making the hole? Who's gonna make the hole?
Oh god, the glory hole. I'll install glory holes in Miami.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Also, one other thing is refresh your metadata on Emblem OpenSea Fake Rares. The videos, the MP4s are now live.
Let's go.
Everybody who has their cards on Fake Rares, you can see the music, the video productions, all the fucking wild shit people have done Fake Rares, not just the gift for the image.
See the music.
We made it. All right. I'm hearing feedback and everything.
If your art has music, that is part of the fucking art.
Feedback and everything.
Yeah, what is happening? All right, I'm closing this space up. Everything's getting chaotic. We'll see you guys tomorrow.